Hello everyone and welcome to Retro Dad and Modern Lad, the YouTube channel and soon to be website. Today we're going to be reviewing the newly released English translation of the game. Is an adventure platforming game with surprisingly good graphics. The game was previously released as a Japanese exclusive and I featured it in my best Japanese import games under £50 part 1 video, giving it a score of 7 out of 10. But having put more time into the game and with the story now in English text, do I think it deserves a higher score? And what exactly is different about the new English translation compared to the original Japanese version? Let's find out. When you put the game on and it goes to the main menu options, you'd be forgiven for thinking nothing's changed as the text is still in Japanese in the main menu. However, there are only two options, so this isn't a problem. The first one is to start a new game and the second option is to load a saved game. Saves on the game can either be to the Sega Saturn internal memory or to a memory card. However, this is the only part of the game that is in Japanese. The rest of the story is in full English tech, as we can see now. Now, the game was perfectly playable in Japanese, but it does add more charm to the game to be able to follow the story with English text and get to know the characters' personalities better. In my opinion, the English translation is the best of both worlds, as it retains the Japanese quirky voices, but it uses English text so you can understand what's going on. Another thing that is fantastic about the new release of the English translation is the game is being made available to buy as a high quality reproduction with box, CD, art and manual. I will leave a link in the description to where you can pre-order the game, and it's also available for free download. But remember, to play backups you do need either a modded Sega Saturn or a pseudo Saturn. Getting a reproduction is not only a fantastic way to play it because you can play it in English, but also the Japanese version is getting really expensive and goes for around £50 buy it now these days on eBay. So what's the game all about? Well, the game is quite basic in nature. The objective of each level is to find the level exit platform, and Manmaru is limited to jumping, and despite being enemies on screen, you can't actually kill them. On your quest you can also pick up objects such as rocks or crates and move them to help you reach higher platforms. Although this is not really needed, as you can use the triple jump to gain a height boost to get to higher places. The triple jump is a vital move to learn, as there is some sections of levels where you can't get past them unless you use it. Some levels have switches or platforms like the one he's standing on now that activate changes in the level so you can progress. Another aspect of the game that seems quite strange is each level there is a time limit you must complete it in, shown in the top right hand corner. This is strange because you've got that much time to complete each level that you never run out of time, so it seems a bit pointless having it in the first place. There is excellent variation in the level design and themes, and some levels really show off some great graphics and draw distance for an open world style 3D game for the Sega Saturn. If there's one complaint most people will have when they play the game, it'll be the controls. It seems a strange decision, but you can't use the 3D controller analog stick on the Sega Saturn, so you must use the D-pad. But to turn on the spot or pivot when running, you use the shoulder buttons. I do find it easier, even though you've got to use the D-pad, to use the 3D controller though, as you can use the triggers to do this. It may seem a bit awkward to control at first, but if you stick with it you'll get used to it, and it actually works really well once you get used to it. Another aspect of the game worth highlighting is the music in the game for each zone is absolutely brilliant and perfect for the game. Don't get me wrong, you won't be playing at a full blast in your car, but they are very catchy and you'll be nodding your head as you play along. Located around the levels are coins to collect and power ups and downs. Some give you speed boosts and make you jump higher, while others have the opposite effect. There's some neat little effects like the ice zone where it's slippy, and the sky zone has clouds that can make you jump higher. The camera for the most part is really good and stays behind Manmaru. You can also look around manually and have the camera at 3 different heights behind them. The game uses a clever technique to keep pop-up to a minimum. It's the same technique that was used in the Sonic World game in the Sonic Jam. When you run, the camera faces a little bit at a more down angle, so you can still see, but it stops you seeing into the very far distance and maintains the draw distance better. This game isn't as graphically detailed as the Sonic World concept, but definitely proves a full game could have been made from it. Another great feature of the game is every time you start or finish a new zone you get a stylish cutscene, which are now even better with the English story. With Manmaru not having any attacks, boss fights take the form of a race to collect the most coins, trying to avoid being attacked and finding your way around a maze. It has a good variety, and whereas before it was a bit trial and error understanding what the objectives were when you first tried them in Japanese, it's immediately obvious now you've got the English text what you need to do. Tactic I use on the coin collecting ones is go for the coins that are on the floor rather than the ones you'd have to jump for, and I find this helps you win most of the time. The new system is also quirky in this game. When you lose all your lives you get the option to continue, but you must first battle the continue boss in a battle to collect the most coins. There are 39 coins in the level, so you need 20 to win. If you win you get to continue the level you were on with 2 lives. If you lose it's game over, so no pressure. Once you've practiced this a couple of times you do get used to it. I'd just go for the ones on the outside, they seem to be the easiest. If you get all of them you will win without going for any of the ones in the middle. There's no limit on how many times you can try for a continue, but if you're on level 3 there is quite a lot of pressure, because if you do get game over you have to start from your last save point, which will be on level 1 of that zone. Another thing I haven't mentioned, in the bottom left hand corner you have got your life meter, so you can get knocked a couple of times before you die. The only problem with this is a lot of the time when you get knocked you get flung backwards and you usually get flung off the level. Refill your health by getting power ups with a heart on, and there's one right there. Now you'll be really enjoying the game for the first couple of zones, but when you get to the last zone particularly, the level of how difficult it is really ramps up. There are a few parts that will make you want to jump up and down on the controller or put it through the telly. But I really like the fact that the game is making you work to complete it, and every level in the last zone feels like a big achievement when you do complete it. Whereas most of the zones you can run through them quite quickly, the key to the last zone is to be patient and take your time to judge the jumps, especially when on moving platforms, as there isn't much room for error at all. So the positives are, it's got great graphics for a 3D game for the Sega Saturn, the music's excellent, it's varied and fun levels, a good challenge, and it's now in English text. The negatives are the controls take time to get used to, and there's not a great amount of replay value or hidden stuff to find in the game, unfortunately. With all that being said, I gave the Japanese version a solid 7 out of 10, but I feel with the story now in English it makes it the definitive version of the game for people who don't speak Japanese. Being able to understand the story and characters makes it that much better, so I give the English translation of Ninpen Manmaru Ninja Penguin an 8 out of 10. I'd highly recommend you go and try the game, and you can play it for free, or you can get the great reproduction version with box manual and see the art. I'll leave a link in the description to both of them. I would like to thank everyone who's worked on it and made this translation possible. It's amazing the dedication of the Saturn community. I'd also like to thank Daniel Smith, and go over to the excellent Sega Saturn Collectors and Gamers Facebook. Join to be first to hear about the 2 other unreleased Sega Saturn games that are soon to drop. You've been listening to Retro Dad and Modern Lad, the YouTube channel and soon to be website. If you've liked this video, give it a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We got loads of videos mainly on Sega Saturn and Dreamcast, but also other retro modern computers. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon. Bye.